Hi everyone, it is so great to be with you today for Canva Summer Camp. I am so excited. I am so lucky to be part of this, partnership. My name is Kennedy Jones and I am your customer success manager. I work with the EXP team on all things Canva strategic initiatives. And today that means that I get to work on, of course, Camp Canva and winning your listing. So before we actually go ahead and jump into that content, because this is our first session of summer camp, I wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about kind of how to get into Canva, but also what tools and resources are available to you, not just today, but on an ongoing basis to further navigate the Canva enterprise environment. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'll flip it over to my screen here. And before we jump into all the good things that Canva has to offer, I wanted to go ahead and drop this toolkit in the chat so you all can click on this link, pull it up, bookmark it. This is your Canva toolkit. So as you can see, I've just clicked on the home page. We can see first things first, that amazing case study that features Wendy and the amazing work that she has put into this partnership. But as you kind of navigate through the rest of this toolkit, you'll be able to see how to log in, trainings, account migration if you want to copy content over. Every single question we have been documenting, we have been collecting your FAQs so they can be found here. Because this is our first session, I did want to spend a little tiny bit of time today to make sure that you're actually logging into the proper account. So a lot of you have been using Canva on a personal account, which is great. You've been using Canva Free, Canva Pro. Canva Enterprise actually unlocks so much more for you, including EXP's brand kit, EXP brand templates. You can now make your own brand kit, which we'll get to in later sessions. But everything that is exclusive to you with EXP's brand can be found in your Canva account, as well as the custom MLS app where you can actually pull your listing data into your Canva designs. So that can only be found through your EXP account. So I'll have you, if you haven't logged in previously, just go ahead and navigate to your Okta dashboard, click on the Canva tile. You'll use your EXP credentials to go ahead and log in. If you still are having a little bit of trouble, we want to definitely make sure that you get access to the account. We are going to be moving fairly quickly through the content today just to make sure that we cover the items we want to cover. But of course, we are here for you. If you need any support with logging in, go ahead and log a ticket with the EXP tech support team. You can email them or you can also call that number below. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and jump back into the home page. And here you can see that I have now logged into my EXP account. And what you might find that is consistent if you are day one of being an agent at EXP, or if you've been here for quite a while, your Canva experience will feel the same when you log in on the home page. That is intentional. So if you've been using a free or pro account, you'll notice when you log into the EXP version of Canva that what will you design today banner stays at the top, our search bar down below, and then our various different content types for you to easily access and click into, you can jump right into from the homepage. The one caveat that I want to make here is that your homepage will look different from everyone else's. Your homepage is actually unique to you. So this top portion will be consistent, but everything below your recents are your recent designs that you've created, that you've accessed, that you've shared. That is your recent work. So it makes it easy that when you do have things that you have to obviously direct your attention to and move away from Canva, so you can jump right back into those things. So you can see on my screen, of course, I have a lot of recent designs. Once again, if this is your first day logging in, this would be completely blank for you. On the very bottom left-hand corner, you'll actually find as well, you have that EXP logo. That indicates that we are in fact in the right place. You can see that when I click on that logo, my team pops up. I'm able to witness this EXP Canva Enterprise team. You can see it says enterprise. You can see how many people are accessing Canva, which is absolutely phenomenal to see. And if you are in multiple accounts with that same email, so you can see that I am in my Canva email right now. If I did need to switch over to a different team, so it could be my personal account, I can switch teams here. So once again, I know this can be a little bit of a clunky process. We are here to support you to make sure this is smooth and seamless. As long as you can see that logo in the bottom left-hand corner, you can see it says EXP Canva Enterprise, you're good to go, you're in the right place. With that being said, we absolutely love any and all feedback. I'm sure I haven't been able to keep my eye on the chat right now, but I'm sure we're getting feedback as I speak, which we welcome. We actually have our product team based in Australia who is going to wake up in a couple hours. They're actually going to watch this and they're going to definitely track down some recording that is found in the chat in our Q&A portion for today. But I want you to know that the feedback, we are an open door for communication. So if you actually toggle down a couple of these different options, you can see where it says help and resources, you can suggest an improvement. So this is where Canva actually captures your feedback. So always feel free to continuously click back into this. And then in addition to feedback, of course, we know that support goes hand in hand with the feedback as well. So we do have that purple question mark on the very bottom right-hand corner as your help assistant. This is our AI chat. So if you have any Canva question whatsoever, you can drop it in here. AI will respond to you, give you a quick answer. If it's not meeting your needs, it'll actually prompt you to go ahead and submit a support ticket. You can see I actually have that contact support up above. And because this is logged in and tracked through your EXP account, they'll email you directly on that EXP email as well. So just a couple housekeeping tips, and now we can move into more of the navigation of Canva. Like I said, bear with me, just a couple more key details, and then we're actually gonna jump in to today's content. So now that we're on the homepage, we've talked about obviously the search bar, my recent designs, the settings, and the support. Now we get to jump into a little bit more fun stuff, and that is the left-hand side navigation. A couple key details I want to call out. Your projects tab is anything and everything that you've been working on and that's been shared with you. When I do click on this projects tab, you can see once again, I've had my EXP account for years now. As I scroll down, I can see recent designs, I can see folders, we can see brand templates. We understand this is overwhelming. What is more helpful is to actually toggle to that brand tab. And when you jump down to that brand tab, you are able to see all of the brand kits that are made available to you. If I want to click into that EXP Realty brand kit, you can see obviously we have brand templates, we have logos, colors, fonts, graphics, and icons. As I flip through all of these items, all of this has been uploaded for you. So there's really no guessing games as to what you should use, what you can use. It all lives here. I can also navigate my brand templates as well. So this is another place to surface those brand templates. Of course, if I want to star any items, I have that ability, which I have not done today. But with that being said, the content that we're going to focus on today has actually been starred for the team. So when I pop that menu out, it might be popped out already on your screen. You'll see starred for the team. Our Camp Canva folder is, or should be, I should say, will be starred for you on the left-hand side. So any folders you can go ahead and jump straight into. You can see we've pinned the brand templates up here for you. So there's lots of different ways to access the content. It's really the way in which you want to choose how to access the brand templates that have been made for you. What I think is one of the most exciting parts about Camp Canva is that we have this gorgeous folder that has been made for you. So you can actually jump straight in here, follow along with our content, and go ahead and test things out, which is exactly what we want to see you do. So with that being said, first things first, of course, today is all about winning the listing. You can see I already have this folder built out, winning the listing, and today we're going to focus on a listing presentation. So you can see I've started at the folder level. I'm going a little bit deeper into those folders, and we have 3 templates here that are available for me to actually choose which brand template I want to go ahead and edit. I really like the look of this one just at first glance. As I am hovering my mouse, I'm able to get a sneak preview of all those different pages within the listing presentation. So I'm actually going to go ahead and click on that brand template. And when I click on the brand template, I will be given the option to use this brand template. That is that purple button on the very top right-hand corner. So I'm going to use this brand template. Now that I've done so, you may notice that Canva actually has automatically changed the title for me. So you can see now, instead of just this saying listing presentation, like we saw on the previous page, this now actually says copy of listing presentation. This indicates to me that, of course, the brand template was a template for me to utilize. Now this is my own copy, my own version. No one else can access this. I own it. So with that being said, it is definitely best practice to go ahead and change that title, because if not, you'll be left with lots and lots of content on your homepage that says copy of listing presentation, copy of listing presentation. So you always want to try to have some sort of cadence, and it's up to you what that looks like on maybe the date, obviously the address of your listing, things like that, that would be helpful for you to go ahead and search that content moving forward and find it very easily. So for the sake of today, I'm just going to put my initials and 7-2, which is the date, but I would probably utilize the address or the client that I am working with in this scenario. So now that we've changed the title, let's go ahead and build something, shall we? So of course, the first thing that I have done is change the title, but with that being said, I know we already had a sneak preview on the previous page, but now I actually can go through and scroll down and you can see the structure of this brand template has already been built out, which is the best part about joining the EXP Canva team. You can see, of course, we have tons and tons of kind of formats and layouts. We have CMA, we have obviously the different marketing channels, lots and lots of items here, even our checklist in the back. So you can make this your own. Now that this is your own version of the template, you can choose to ultimately go through, remove, add, do anything you want with the pages of this template. So it takes the guesswork out because, of course, you're not starting from a blank template. And instead of spending your time actually designing any sort of presentation, you're just spending a few minutes here and there making this yours. And of course, with the listing presentation, I would assume most of your content is going to say pretty consistent. So once you do this one time, you can utilize the same exact template from here on out. So the first thing that we're going to do to personalize this template, you can see this beautiful cover page we have, is we're going to start with updating the headshot. You can see we have actually a placeholder on the very bottom right hand portion here. I've actually gone ahead and uploaded my headshot already. One of the things I love about using Canva on my computer, on my desktop, is the things that I actually have saved to my computer. I can simply drag and just drop those in anywhere in Canva and it'll always upload them. So of course we have that purple button again. Anything that is kind of a call to action in Canva is highlighted by that purple button. And I can upload my files. You can see I've already done so, or you can drag and drop your headshot in. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually click on my headshot to add it once now that I've uploaded. And once I click on that headshot, you can actually move this around. You can see we have different frames on the screen that the picture might want to fit into. So of course, I'm gonna replace that headshot that was already there. Canva has actually gone ahead and removed the background for me. I'm gonna actually demonstrate that to you next because we are going to walk through those steps, but you can see because this template has already been set up, how wonderful is that? I've literally dragged and dropped my headshot and Canva's already taken the liberty because of the way the template was set up to remove that background for me. So once again, eliminating all those steps, those manual steps that it used to take. So with that being said, now I've dragged my headshot into this frame. A frame in Canva is anything that is kind of holding that photo together. And you can see of course, when I do click on this headshot, I have that top bar that'll pop up that gives me those different options of where I want to take this photo next. If I were to click actually on a text box, you'll notice that top bar changes based on the fact this is text rather than a photo. So I'm gonna click on my photo as an isolated element, click on that edit button, and with that being said, I can choose background remover, or I can actually use the background remover that pops up for me. It's such a common thing in Canva. Of course, we've already included it for you up top, but you can find it on that edit button as well and see all of those different options that are available to you. So to just showcase, of course, using the background remover up top, I'm gonna click on that button once. Beautiful, my background has been removed. But maybe that's not all. Maybe I want to go ahead and continue to edit this headshot a little bit further. As you can see, of course, it looks like it did a really good job of all those individual strands of hair, but maybe I want to upscale this a little bit further. Maybe it looks like I didn't get a great night of sleep or something like that, and I want to go ahead and just kind of polish this photo. One of our new Canva features is actually this upscale capability. So you'll notice once I click on that, Canva AI is working its magic to go ahead and polish this photo and make me look like I'm a little bit more rested. So you can see here, it just kind of smoothed over a couple features. I still look the exact same way that I did, just a little bit more polished. So polished, or I should say so minimal on those changes that it barely looks like it did anything, but when I'm clicking through that forward and backward button, you can see that it actually has changed my headshot ever so slightly. And I do prefer it this way, actually. So with that being said, my photo edits are complete. And there we go, step one done. Of course, uploading and editing with the headshot. On this page, of course, we would want to go ahead and update the text. Maybe this is, of course, a buyer's guide, something like that. You can switch the title. Any sort of text box in Canva, you're just gonna double click and you can go ahead and change that text. It'll stay in the same text in terms of your font and your size. So as an example of that, I'm gonna go ahead and just change the first name, last name here. I can go ahead and simply make those changes. Perfect, nothing else to do here. I've subbed this out. I can change my number. Of course, maybe I want to change my email too. You may notice as I'm coming in to each of these text box, everything is staying the same, right? In terms of that font and that size, which makes it super, super easy for me to make my changes and move forward with the things that I actually need to do. And like I mentioned before, I imagine with some of these presentations, these edits will only need to be made once, and then you can continue to make a copy of these presentations as well. So now that we've made the presentation ours, of course, we can go ahead and move on to the rest of the gorgeous structure that's been laid out for us here. So as you can see, all of these pages have been built for you to sub out your text. If I wanted to actually go ahead and change the page layout, we do have some icons up top on each page that you can actually shift things around. So maybe I want to move down my professional history and flip it with obviously this timeline that you can see here. So now this is turned to page 2 rather than being page 3. If it's easier for me to also look in a different format, on the very bottom right-hand corner, we can actually show those different page thumbnails, which gives us more of a presentation view, which sometimes is easier to kind of click through and navigate. And we can even click on that grid view as well to see all of our pages. So lots of different ways to kind of access that content and see. Once again, I've just highlighted, of course, to switch the pages out, those icons that showed up on the very top of my page in this view. And then of course, on the very bottom right-hand side, just looking at different ways to kind of view the content. With that being said, kind of moving forward, of course, this would all be personal to you, but we have some different pages here, and maybe I want to up-level this presentation even more by going to our apps and actually adding a QR code. Once we search QR code, you have tons of different QR code examples here in Canva that you can utilize. The QR code up top, that is of course our most popular. When I click on that QR code, I can go ahead and type in my specific website. I'll type in canva.com for fun. And I can even customize the background color, the foreground color, the margins to make it match my personal brand. So I know we're talking about personal brand in an upcoming session, so I won't speak too much to this right now, but I could go ahead and generate that code. Maybe this code hypothetically goes to some testimonials, and I can just go ahead and resize it and drop it on my page just as so. And there we have it. Your QR code has been generated. So like I said, all of these things can be repeatable actions for you. If I wanted to even click on my headshot because we've already made those edits, go ahead and actually copy that. I like to use the keyboard shortcuts, but of course you could click on those three dots, click on copy, and now this is copied for you. We can replace the headshots, of course, with this one that's already been made. So I've scrolled down to the thank you page. Of course, I might want to go ahead and remove that headshot. So I just clicked, deleted, and now I can go ahead and paste my photo, drag it, and put it there too. So all of these things, of course, once you make these edits once, you'll be good to go. But the last portion that I wanted to touch on for today's content is, of course, sharing and exporting, which I know can sometimes seem a little bit intimidating from Canva because you might not know what to do to get your design out of Canva. So now that I made all of my edits here, I want to go ahead and click on that share button. That share button ultimately means we're sharing it outside of Canva. And then you'll notice that I have that download option for me available. When I click on download, Canva will recommend various file types based on what it thinks you might be interested in. So it's recommending PNG for this specific design because it has complex images in it. What I would want to do with this is potentially print it to actually hand it to my buyer. I could go ahead and of course click on PDF. With PDF, we actually have two different options as well. We have digital, so maybe I'm just downloading this as a PDF, I'm emailing it over to someone, but I actually want to give my client that packet, that presentation in hand. So I'm gonna click on print. You can see those different options here. Of course, you can select your different pages if you need to, but with print, you can also select professional printing quality colors, which we like to call in the design world CMYK. So you can see that Canva gives you the option for that color profile. I'm going to select CMYK and I'm going to simply download my design. So with that being said, of course, we have tons of different ways to share and export. I'm just choosing this one for our listing presentation today. But the great thing about that is that Canva makes it so incredibly simple for you to go ahead and download. So now I could send to my local printer. I could send to, Office Depot or Staples, wherever I prefer to print, and go ahead and actually print it professionally. So let's recap what we just accomplished. We talked about a lot today. We didn't build an entire presentation from scratch. We actually personalized one. We updated our headshot. We, of course, refreshed our About Me page with obviously our details. We added a QR code. And now we actually have something that we're really proud of to walk into a listing appointment with. Remember, this isn't the only resource available in Canva. There is so much more, and we'll talk about those in the following sessions. But I do want to go ahead and highlight once again, feel free to log into Canva, play around, look into the brand templates. We will definitely be taking questions throughout these Canva sessions as well. So we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your questions so we can address them next time as we're walking in to our next camp session. But with that being said, thank you so much for your time today. Now we have portion for Q&A. So we will welcome all of the questions. Thanks, everyone.
Honestly, guys, these questions I see in the chat, you can literally copy those questions into this Canva AI, and it will help you walk you through how to do it. Like, It's pretty impressive. And so I think the goal, guys, is we got about 3 minutes left. I just want to make sure you guys are a little bit more comfortable, right? We want to make sure after this session, you're able to log into your enterprise account. You could check out your projects, which is your templates, right, that we've given you. All those are available to you. You can, we'll put some slides up in just 1 second, guys, to walk you through where you access all that stuff. And we're also going to send a mass email out after this, guys, to make sure you get everything in one place. So this is awesome. Thank you guys so much for this.